Picking a dark horse for the player to make the MVP in the NFL season can actually be pretty simple and bring you great value if you're really smart about it. You just have to look at the right historic criteria before making your pick, and it all boils down to these three factors. Number one, pick a quarterback. This league has created a game where any player outside the quarterback position would have to acquire record-breaking stats in order to be a part of the MVP conversation, like Adrian Peterson's 2,000-yard campaign back in 2012. I mean, not even Jerry Rice was able to bring home the MVP. So if you're thinking about betting on Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham Jr., my advice would be don't do it. Now, number two, pick a first-timer. This is what I like to call the Michael Jordan syndrome. MVP voters tend to select players that haven't yet won the award. That's why my personal favorite this year is Andrew Luck at plus 500. The Colts quarterback has the best odds of actually winning in my mind. But if you want better value than that, then you will have to factor in that final component of picking the dark horse MVP. That's number three. The selected player must be on a team that can pull off 10 or more wins. No player has won the MVP title playing on a team fewer than 10 wins since Barry Sanders in 1997, and Sanders ran for 2,000 yards that year. So who does that leave us with a good shot at the title this season? Well, we've got Russell Wilson at plus 800, and based on Pro Football Reference's approximate value metric, Wilson was actually the second most valuable QB last season behind Aaron Rodgers. Now, Wilson still has a lot to prove compared to some of the candidates, but if the Seahawks make it into the Super Bowl again this season after all of the offensive changes they're going through, Wilson could be our guy. Or if you want a guy who has nothing to prove statistically, then there's Ben Roethlisberger at 10-1. Big Ben is coming off a career best with 4,952 yards passing, 32 passing touchdowns, and a total QBR of 72.48. The biggest key factor for Big Ben to take the award will be the Steelers to make a bigger splash in the playoffs, like making it into the first round bye territory at least, but that's a really tall task playing in the AFC. And finally, for a very high profit value, there's Tony Romo at 15-1. Now, a lot of Romo's biggest critics will say that he can't be taken seriously because of how he performs when it counts in the postseason, but last year that wasn't the story for him. He threw career highs, 69.9 completion percentage, 34 touchdowns, a total QBR of 83.6. Those are astounding numbers. But the biggest question in my mind will be, is he going to be able to perform like that with his star running back DeMarco Murray off in Philadelphia to play with the Eagles this season? That's where I'm still a little bit hesitant to tell you to go for that value. Those numbers just might not be realistic this season.